To other issues now on the news. On Friday, the Abuja Federal High Court declared two bandits groups as terrorist groups. We're discussing that tonight with our data consultant, Babajide Ogunsanwo, who's just come into the studio. Terrible traffic outside, right?
It's traffic that you refer to as bandit type of traffic. It's,
and to be
so
happy that it
horrible.
was Sunday, really bad. But we're grateful you're here, and thanks for showing up. So, first of all, does it make any difference, that the courts, well, it wasn't the Supreme Court, right? This was the Federal High Court that declared these groups as terrorist organizations. What sort of difference does it make?
In terms of strategy, it doesn't make significant difference. But in terms of how the armed forces will approach insecurity and treat these bandits, it makes a lot of difference. So there's something to smile about, and there's something to frown about. Yes, the traffic, something to frown about. Or there are lots of things we should smile about, because there are questions that now have answers. Questions such as, who exactly are those terrorizing Nigeria? Two, why has it been difficult to stop them from terrorizing Nigeria? And three, what does the future look like? So tonight I'd like to start with the facts that talk about who are those terrorizing Nigeria. And the Global Terrorism Database has done extensive study on those terrorizing Nigeria since 2002. Here are the facts. More than half of all terrorist attacks still are by the group known as Jamaat al-Sunnah Lil Dawa Wal Jihad Boko Haram. 52% of all terrorist attacks since 2002 caused by the Boko Haram. The other group, which is why there's something to smile about, of those terrorizing Nigerians are classified as unknown, 24%. Now, it's in this group that the Federal High Court has identified two groups as those that are known as the unknown. So what is happening is that 24% of all those terrorizing Nigeria, we now have some names to classify them as. And the Federal Court has said that Yan Bindiga and Yan Tal Ada, those two groups, if I've pronounced them well, should be seen as terrorist groups because their acts are acts of terrorism. In other words, we now have more names to call these people rather than just to refer to them as bandits. And that makes it clear to be able to identify who specifically are we talking about. So yes, we know one group popularly known as Boko Haram. Yes, the Global Terrorism Database has identified Fulani extremists as well. But we now know that in that group, rather than call them bandits or unknown, we now can classify them and call them by a name. And
wouldn't that be some sort of publicity for them? Because it almost sounds like, now that you're giving them a name, it means that, they can further perpetrate, their nefarious activities on Nigerians. How do you stem that?
A wise man once said that which you cannot identify, you cannot fight. So by giving it a name, we clearly know this is who we are fighting. We can identify who are their leaders. We can also put them on the international police watch list, which allows us to be able to easily track their sponsors and their financiers, especially what has been happening in recent times. Look at what has happened, excuse me, on the Abuja-Kaduna railroads. It's just days to the end of the year, and several people are asking, who exactly are those behind these attacks? So what we've seen is this sort of classification allows us to be able to find it and to be able to understand that it has been difficult to end terrorism, especially across northern Nigeria, for about one major reason. Yes, there are lots of reasons, but here's the fact. In the northwest, we have 9 million families. In the north central, 5 million families. In the northeast, 9 million families. But here's what the science shows, and that is these terrorists operate mostly in areas that have large land areas.
Yeah, so there's sparsely populated.
Yeah, so we see that most of these terrorist attacks happen in the northeast, and these are the facts from the Global Terrorism Database. Since 2002, more than 2,600 attacks in the northeast, largest land area, over 101,000 square miles. The second region in the north that has the highest number of terrorist attacks, the north central, over 895 terrorist attacks, and that's because they also have that large land area. And we've seen in the northwest over 465 attacks, 83,000 square miles. Now, what's the relationship between land area and these terrorist attacks? Yes, we see that it's an 0.96 correlation, which is almost a one-to-one correlation. That is, terrorists operate in areas in Nigeria that have large land size. And it's because that it allows them to escape. So the larger the land area, it's like a cat and mouse game. You attack, you run. So if there's a large land space, it allows you to attack and to hide. And that's really has been the strategy. So what it tells us is we also have to have a deliberate land management program.
Yeah, and maybe it will be much easier now for the military to, decimate the groups and to control them eventually.
Well, in the final analysis, I'd like to talk about something that is very important, and that
but
is
very quickly.
For us to look at the current danger that we are in, to look at the potential danger, and to look at the future danger. And by current danger, we're looking at people living below poverty across the 3 zones in Nigeria, 67 million people. By potential danger, we're looking at those that are underemployed and unemployed, 19 million across the 3 zones in the northern region. And by the future danger, we're looking at those that are out of school, 9 million across these 3 zones. 67 million, 19 million, and 9 million. Those are the figures that represent Nigeria's current danger, potential danger, and future danger. In the final analysis, Amachi, I'd like to leave you with the words of Abraham Lincoln, who says that the most reliable way to predict the future is to create it. And if we don't look at our current danger, our potential danger, and our future danger, we'll be creating the future backwards.
Babajide, thank you again. Always a food for thought you bring to us on the news at 10.
The pleasure is all mine,
Appreciate it.
Amachi.
Thanks again.